of tabs, and I will go through them and explain stuff that I've been working on. So, I mean, quick intro about me. In a context of what I'm presenting is, for a while now, I've been obsessed about this idea of DAOtown. It's based on this piece by Perchy, who, basically creates these amazing illustrations that like really help visualize the landscape of what it feels like working in a DAO, which it is kind of like the Wild West in many aspects. We're on the frontiers, we're pioneers. It takes grit. You kind of need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and just get things done. And I've always been interested in the concept that metagame's been talking about, Metaville, and I really want to create these kinds of representations of in terms of coordinating. I think art like this has a really powerful effect because usually we're pretty siloed in different discords, different Twitter communities and circles, and all these different group chats that have a lot of friction. But if we could just see ourselves kind of like in the same area, in the same district, like a lot of us are in, by the way, like east side of Origin City, but a lot of M3 folks are in the Makers District, while Metacartel and Metagame and Metafactory are in Junkyard District. So we got a little bit of a DAOtown vibe going on there, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so I'm really interested in the connective tissue between all these different communities and orgs and how we can coordinate better. And my skill and specialty is making virtual worlds. I've been doing so for 10 years now. Been in VR and AR industry, just full-time making stuff, and not really for any particular platform. I mostly interweave between many platforms. And so that drives me towards interoperable open standards and file formats and the working groups and communities that are platform agnostic and, to kind of build that meta layer. So here's a current progress of DAOtown and Hyperfy. And so we're going to be meeting up here in about 15 minutes, by the way. So if you want to catch a presentation afterwards. So this is all in the browser, hyperfy.io/DAOtown. And so if you click over here, you can kind of see the bulletin board of tasks that we have. So DWork is kind of our bounty board, and we've got some open bounties for different things related to DAOtown. I've got a link to the Discord and a link to the GitHub where we are working on this project. And this GitHub is basically an asset palette so that it's easier for us to prototype and brainstorm collaboratively. So we are kind of using it as kind of like, imagine, to borrow from cooking, where the GitHub is kind of like our shared refrigerator, and this is where we're stocking our ingredients. I've got this over here. It's running some GitHub actions in which whenever you upload a model to it, it'll automatically upload into this kind of like HTML palette, and that is a ginormous carriage. Okay, so like scale is usually kind of off when it comes to Sketchfab assets, but yeah, just literally drag and drop from there, and we can do that in any world that people are collaborators in. Been adding some avatars that are NPCs. Eventually that'll be giving us quests and stuff, going with the cowboy theme. Got a Tubby Cat and a Clone X, and got a Boombox head over here. But imagine each of these buildings being, like belonging to a DAO or a NFT project or a community. We can kind of see like the big picture, and we even have a work in progress kind of topology that follows DAOtown, like the art, very closely. So here's the current kind of progress over there, and think of it as like a web ring. If you're unfamiliar with what web rings are, they're kind of like a Web 1.0 concept where basically you basically have a link to another person's website, and they have a backlink to your website, and that's kind of what CryptoVoxels is, and these other kind of like land projects, if you think about it. But we're kind of doing that in a more ad hoc sort of miniverse, mini-town sort of way. And each of these buildings is kind of like a 3D hyperlink shortcut. So if you walk into this building, this M3 Mart, this takes you into a website, which is kind of like a community showcase. And because it's the web, we can build these 3D websites with different frameworks and engines. So I went from Hyperfi to a Play Canvas
Yo,
site.
what's up? How can I help you?
Can talk to NPC and check out some of the things for sale. And M3 is kind of like a virtual hacker-space where we're working on all sorts of projects, and I stocked this up with a bunch of stuff that we've got going on. Boombox Heads V2 is a CCO NFT drop. We've got some sold-out stuff, some VRM NFTs.
Yo, what's up?
This
How
NPC
can I help
over
you?
Here, and this takes us to CryptoVoxels, and this takes us to this other sort of version of DAOtown, which is more of the street concept. It's all going to get connected in the end. And that's kind of why we're also designing things to be more so portable. I love the carriage wagons. I believe like those are the OG metaverse makers in a way, because they're porting their home spaces across different lands, if you think about it. And that's kind of what I see for us. Like we're on the road here, and we're gonna take pit stops in different metaverse platforms, and that's what Neon Biddle does as a community. We build in different places, and we bring stuff with us. Like this building over here, I took it from CryptoVoxels, and we've got a sort of a sub DAO setup called Open Voxels for the CryptoVoxels interoperability stuff. You can check it out on Juicebox. Got some links over here, and the links in front of them, just kind of furthers the point that it's sort of like a 3D link tree or a visualization of overworld, where we can then walk into these different websites and platforms. Here's the Internet Archive. We need to have a library. So that's our library. That's our Temple of Time. New Zelda just came out. This is the M3 HQ, which is in a ton of different platforms, by the way. Be building that HQ in a bunch of places, like a digital nation builds embassies in different platforms. That's what we do, because you need to connect with the locals. You need to have skin in the game to understand, like, in order to build bridges between these different platforms, it helps to have firsthand experience building in them. So got this set up, and I also have like a little sort of mind map of where I see this all going. But we've got DAOtown over here, building M3 Mart, kind of like I see this hopefully as like this next 7-Eleven or Starbucks of the metaverse, where we're just like have a bunch of merch shops between a bunch of these different platforms. We've got street festivals and booths, and they're all based on GLTF format, so they're very portable between different platforms. It's a international standard file format, and avatars are super portable. So one thing that we're doing is we're creating badges. As you can see on my avatar, I've got badges on my backpack as to like the guilds and skills that I want to rep across these different places. So we're trying to make a fashion statement about like not just what we've bought, but like what we've done, our accomplishments, or what we do. And this is a open GitHub repo, by the way, for folks that want to like add something to their avatar. I'll just drop a link in the chat. This is all based on DWork skills. So the things that you tag on DWork for different tasks, I kind of see them as different guilds or like badges that you can like flex, like, yeah, I'm good at, such and such. And I kind of see like DAOtown as being a way of interacting with GitHub and DWork, but through a 3D interface, So like imagine walking up to an NPC to get like a quest for a writing task or for a design task. and it's hooked up to GitHub or Dwork or Discord, and it just becomes a cool way of learning about the lore and about different DAOs by interacting with these NPCs, and also gamifying the onboarding into Web3. So that's kind of the vision we've got going on with this.